Now that we've had a little practice drawing boxes in 2-point perspective, now we're going to try our hand at letters in 2-point perspective. We're going to start with the letter H. And I'm going to put that above my horizon line. So I want to basically just draw that front corner of the letter H as if that is the edge that is facing me, that is closest to me. And then I'm going to draw those orthogonal lines again, leading back to that vanishing point on the left, and also leading back to my vanishing point on the right. I'm drawing a little heavily here so that you can see on the camera, but you want to draw as lightly as possible so it'll be easier to erase these lines. Now I can drop the back end of my letter H with a vertical. Remember, our verticals are going to be completely parallel to the other verticals in my letter, as well as the sides of my page. And now I can drop the back edge of my boxy letter H. Then I can drop this other vertical for the front of my letter H. And this side of my letter H. So we have lots of verticals in this letter. I also will see this side of my letter H, so I want to drop that vertical as well. And now for my crossbar in the letter H, basically I want to just draw a little line here that indicates where the center is, and then inch that up a bit. And that's going to be an orthogonal line leading back to my vanishing point on the horizon line to the right. Now I can erase this part here so that I'm not confusing myself with too many lines. I'm going to see the underside of this part of the letter H, so I'm going to draw another orthogonal line there. There will be an orthogonal line from that inside corner going back to the opposite side to the vanishing point on the left. At this point, we need to look at many different corners that are going to have orthogonals, and I'm just indicating them here with little dots so that you can see where I need to create some orthogonal lines. If you have verticals that'll be corners, and those orthogonal lines need to go to the vanishing point on the left, they will all be to the right of our initial vertical. The vertical that is closest to us, that corner, is going to be that center line that determines which vanishing point you go to. If it's to the left of that vertical, then they're going to go to the right vanishing point. If they are all on the right side, they're going to go to the left vanishing point. Now that I have found my letter H in 3 dimensions, I can erase my orthogonal lines that I no longer need and see exactly how well I've done. Let's try another letter that has something in it that might throw you for a curveball. Let's try the letter N. Again, I'm going to drop a vertical. We'll do this one below the horizon line. And I'm going to drop this front edge of my letter N. And the next thing I'm going to do is from the top and bottom of my vertical line, I'm going to draw orthogonals, those lines that converge on the vanishing point, those lines that create the illusion of depth. I'm going to draw them back to my vanishing points on the right and the left. I'm going to first draw the back edge of my letter N by dropping that vertical. But the letter N has a diagonal. Now, my orthogonal lines are certainly diagonal lines. However, they are not the same thing as my letter N's diagonals. Those diagonals do not go back to the vanishing points. They just are diagonals that create the letter N. So I'm going to freehand them in there first and then use my ruler to precisely draw them in there and determine where to put my next verticals for my letter N to complete that letter. And again, my verticals I want to make sure that they are completely parallel to the other verticals in my letter. And a way to do that is to keep them parallel with the sides of the page. Now I have my letter N. Now I have to figure out how deep I want to make that letter. I'm going to make an orthogonal line here and here and here and here to start. Now, as I said before, this is the first vertical I made. That's the corner that is closest to me in my line of vision. So everything to the right of that first vertical is going to go back to the vanishing point on the left, and everything to the left of that first vertical is going to go to the vanishing point on the right. We are going to see a little bit of the depth of the letter N here, but it's a little tricky because we want to treat this diagonal like our verticals and our horizontals and keep it parallel. However, we do have a little bit of an orthogonal that we need to draw right here. And then the depth of this is going to be ever so slight just because of the angle that we're seeing that in. So it's difficult to read at first, but then it makes sense.